Hi, today we're in the Black Hills of Wyoming. Check this out. Wow, that's the Devil's Tower, also known as Bear Lodge Butte. He's made of igneous rock. Just look at this beautiful formation here. 867 feet from the base up to the top. This guy's huge. Of course, you know it through Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Wow. And this here is the first U.S. national monument ever established in 1906 by President Theodore Roosevelt. Right here. So we're at a place called Joyner Trail. It's the best viewing area to see this guy. Otherwise you get real close and it's hard to see him. So we're going to drive up there closer. Wow, so now we're at the base of Devil's Tower. Right up here, here's the parking area. This is the week before Labor Day, so it's pretty crowded. We have a bunch of little information boards all over the place. We're going to head up the trail, up to the base, and get a better look. Now you head along a little trail here, up to the top. You got little interpretive centers here. Here's our Devil's Tower. All sorts of information about this guy. 867 feet from the base to the top. Over here's a little ranger talk. Okay, so all the railing here is made out of our local ponderosa pines. How about that? So here's our giant monolith. So how did this thing form? Well, not all scientists agree, but consensus is about 50 million years ago. This is all underground, of course. We had a big slug of igneous magma that hardened underground. And then what happened is all this eroded away because it's all made of softer sand and mud. And then it exposed this giant monolith right here. Wow. That's 50 million years old. As old as the dinosaurs. And these scratches, see that? These big long lines on the side. Well, ancient tribal legend said the Native Americans were being chased by a bear. So they ran to the top. The giant bear got his claws. He's clawed out these columns. So I don't know if that's true or not. And see how it's all green? I said, why is that green? Well, that green stuff is lichen. It's a mixture between an algae and a fungus. And it grows on the side of the rocks here. It gives it that green look, almost like a little mossy plant growing. We have these pine trees here and all this rubble coming down. Okay, so here's our lichen. This green mossy stuff grows on the side of the rock. Look up here, little spider. Check that guy out. Wow. So if you want to rock climb this, well, you cannot do it during peregrine breeding nesting season, which is April through July, because the peregrine falcons like to nest up here. And it's also the prayer months for the Native Americans. Let's get a better look at our lichen up here. Green mossy stuff, and then you wonder, how come nothing else grows on this rock? Well, the temperature extremes are too much. It's too cold in winter, and it's too hot in summer. So if anything does take root, maybe right over here somewhere, it might start as a baby but just can't survive, so it dies. And the only guy who's really resistant and resilient is our little algae fungus lichen that grows up here. How about that? So let's take a better look here. So the top of this was once about 2,000 feet below the ground, and way up there was actually an ancient volcano. And the magma was several thousand feet underground here, and as it rises and crystallizes and hardens, it forms what's called a laccolith right here. I believe I'm saying that word right. And the laccolith is from the cooling and crystallizing of the magma as it shoots up the volcano vent to the top. And then after millions of years, of course, all of this erodes away, and you're left with this beautiful monolith. All right, so I'm on the east side of our monolith. Check out this beautiful valley. Unbelievable. Way down there, it's called the BATTLEFOXX River, or BATTLEFOXX River, if you want. It's about 400 feet below where I stand, which is the base of our Devil's Tower. And a little more on the formation of this tower. See, here's where the magma was, way underground, and shot up the vent to the volcano. And the volcano vent, or the tube, got plugged. When it got plugged, this material here could not escape, so it would rise up and crystallize and harden as a pretty much hardened magma from below the surface. And then, of course, all the volcano and the dirt, everything around it, eroded away. Now here's our trail as it meanders up 1.6 miles around Devil's Tower, and down here another look at our river. And I said this is called BATTLEFOXX. It's really called BATTLEFOXX. My French isn't very good. It means beautiful fork. All right, so let me show you something over here. So hundreds of millions of years ago, of course this is all underwater, and the ocean laid this muddy, silty, sandy sediment here. See how fine, muddy that is? And as the waters receded, right, and the rain came a lot, it would just erode away this super, super fine mud. That's why it's so easy to erode around these hills and mountains. And these larger pieces, that's from the monolith or Devil's Tower itself, because they didn't have time to break down yet. But as they tumble down the hill, hopefully they'll round out. You get rounder boulders and pebbles and shapes further down the hill. But the key part is how fine this mud right here. That's from hundreds of millions of years ago, from the ocean floor. Wow. So here's a little storyboard. Shows us how the columns are stacked on columns. Goes inside. And up here, this is called the window. Right there. Kind of shows us exactly how these columns are. Column. There's the inner line, and then it kind of continues all the way to the heart of our Devil's Tower. This whole structure is made of these hexagonal columns. Usually there are 5, 6, or 7 sided columns extruded up from the magma. This whole thing is just a whole series of columns tightly packed together. And here's, I have a close-up here. Look at this thing. It's absolutely huge. This column here of extruded magma. Right? Look at that. So you can see that here. And the way this whole structure's here would just been a bunch of vertical columns sticking up and building on each other. Kind of like a honeycomb from a beehive. Wow. Here's the halfway point, going counterclockwise around our tower. We have another little storyboard. It's called Fresh Start. Wow, it talks about all the fires we've had here. Like down here, all these fires. And then has all this debris, but it provides lots of nesting areas, little food habitat for all sorts of little species. Wow, here's another giant column. Look at this guy. Wow, a hexagon toppled down from Devil's Tower. This thing's absolutely ginormous. Holy smokes. All right, so that's the end of our tour of Devil's Tower, Bear Lodge. Wow, how this guy formed, what he looks like. And I hope I got all of my little factoids right, but sometimes I might miss a few things here and there. So thanks for watching my video. Please click like, subscribe, share, all the rest. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.